Aloha friends, Kristina here, and I am so excited to share with you what I am currently planting this winter to feed us all summer long. And I'm also going to share a garden and orchard tour with you today. And I'm not only going to be sharing what I'm harvesting and what has been working really well for me in my garden and my orchard, but I'm also going to share a little bit of what hasn't been working and what I have learned from on my farming journey. This winter, I have had such an incredible pepper harvest. I made a video about that a few weeks ago. I've also been harvesting tons of fresh watercress, carrots, dill, green onions, fresh herbs, and so many other fruits from my garden as well. For those of you who are seasoned gardeners, you might already know that right now is the best time to plant for your spring and summer crops. And for those of you who are new to gardening, hopefully this encourages you, reminds, and even inspires you to start planting your seeds right now. And I know it might seem a little early to plant seeds for summer, but some of these seeds need 45 to 60 days to germinate, and by the time they produce what you need them to, it will be spring or summer. So if you haven't already planned what you want to grow, and if you haven't already got your seeds, now is the time. Speaking of seeds, where does one find the best seeds to grow? I'm so happy to share that this video is in collaboration with True Leaf Market, my favorite place to stock up on organic, non-GMO, and heirloom seeds. If you've seen any of my previous gardening videos, then you know that I love and use all of the seeds from True Leaf Market. They have the best varieties of vegetable and fruit seeds. They also have herbs, sprouts, microgreens, and so much more. It is your one-stop shop for organic seeds. With more than 5,000 rare heirloom and organic seed varieties, True Leaf Market helps gardeners to find the right seeds for their unique climate and gardening conditions. Their website has an intuitive seed finder tool that matches varieties to your location and goals. And it creates a monthly planting guide for you by your growing zone, making it simple to know what to plant and where. Learning how to grow your own food is becoming more and more important every single day. If your goal is sustainability, health, wellness, or even helping the environment and creating more biodiversity, then it's time to start growing your own food. And even if you don't have a garden, you can start by growing your own sprouts and microgreens in jars or on trays on your own countertops. There are even so many different types of herbs or peppers you can grow in pots around your house as well. Don't wait, start now. Seeds are life, and I cannot express enough how important it is to start stocking up on seeds. There is so much beauty, biodiversity, and color any gardener can create when they grow their own food. Not to mention, it helps the bees and other living species as well. There is so much joy, empowerment, and connection that you can find when growing your own food, and I hope that I'm able to encourage you. If you're interested in checking out True Leaf Market or in getting any of their fruit, vegetable, sprout, microgreen, herb seeds, or more, please check out the link in the description below. I hope you love them as much as I do. They are such an incredible resource, and I cannot recommend them enough. All that being said, let's dive into today's video. Look at all these peppers. You won't believe that my spicy pepper bed is still going off right now. Just a few weeks ago, I completely stripped all of my hot peppers from this bed. And for those of you who saw the video, you know I used all those peppers to make a spicy seasoning that I'll use throughout the rest of the year. And just a few weeks later, I have complete new growth in this bed. So today I'll probably pick an entire new basket of all of these spicy peppers that I have. Everything from habaneros, ghost peppers, jalapenos, serrano peppers, cayenne peppers, big gems, all of my favorite varieties of hot peppers. So imagine, this is gonna be my second big harvest of peppers just in this month. This is true abundance. So these are my winter peppers, but you better believe I'm gonna plant more hot peppers for summer as well. Sometimes Reina likes to help me weed the garden beds, and I leave these for her. She loves these little You're gonna help me weed the garden today. Queen Reina, the master gardener, is joining us to share a little bit about our watercress bed. A lovely surprise that I had this season was a huge watercress harvest. And I actually planted watercress as a test, an experiment of sorts. Watercress is my dad's favorite green, and it just happens to be one of the most nutritional greens on the planet, an incredible green to juice as well. And so I planted just a few watercress in the garden, and now you can see the entire bed was overtaken with watercress. I did actually also plant some cilantro and parsley in this bed, and some of my parsley made it and some of my cilantro made it, but really the bed just became full out watercress. And believe it or not, I'm still waiting for it to grow a bit more, and then I plan on juicing it and making my own really strong, super green juicing shots from it. Also in this bed, I have different kinds of basil. I have regular Italian basil, I have lemon basil, and I also have cinnamon basil as well. So this is the watercress that has taken over this bed, but look how beautiful it is. I know it needs to be weeded a little bit more, but I didn't want to risk pulling out some of the watercress. So yes, it still has some weeds in there, but it is so covered. So in this bed, you can see I also had an overtaking of watercress here. And also I have a beautiful row of green onions that I have been loving and enjoying in my salads as well. I have been loving growing fresh dill, and also I've been growing some rainbow carrots. These carrots grow pretty baby and have significant root systems. You can see this is a baby yellow and white carrot right here. Real carrots, guys. Look at these baby purple carrots as well. I picked this one a little too early. Got a few more carrots right here. Got a rooting system. This is what my carrots look like, guys. A little different than what you'd buy in the grocery store, but so delicious and nutritious. I have 6 garden beds total, and I've just shared with you a little bit of what I'm growing in 3 of those beds. So I have a pretty good rotation happening right now where I am rotating 3 beds at a time for each season. So today I'm going to be replanting 3 of my beds to prepare for the next upcoming seasons. Let me share with you what I'm going to plant. And something you want to make sure you do before you replant is you want to turn your soil. You want to add more soil or new soil to the mix. You want to add compost in. You want to re-nutrify your soil before you plant new seeds. It's very important. I am using organic soil mixed with compost soil. So I'm going to show you real quick how I'm organizing my seeds and which seeds I've chosen for the upcoming season. And then we're going to plant them, and then I'm going to show you how I have been planting in my beds recently. I used to just dig a line and throw in the seeds, but as of recent, I've had better results in first planting them in these biodegradable and organic starters, and then I transfer them to my beds. So that's what we're gonna do today. And as you can see, I have these containers already set, and I have my planned seeds on top of each one of them. And I already know how many rows of each seed I'm gonna plant. So I always like to grow what I use the most. Sometimes I grow some more exotic things, but for the most part, I like to grow the things that I love to use the most. So for my 3 favorite herbs, I'm planting Italian parsley, dill, and cilantro. I use cilantro every single day. I'm also going to be planting single rows of romaine lettuce, cucumbers, rainbow carrots, Scotch bonnet hot peppers, hot Big Jim hot peppers, organic hot cayenne peppers, ghost peppers, hot jalapeno peppers, a row of broccoli rabe, and a row of purple cabbage. And to some of you, this might not be a surprise, but I'm planting an entire bed of kale and collard greens because those are the greens I use most in my salad. So I'm planting a ton of dwarf Siberian kale, a ton of blue Scotch curly kale, a ton of lacinato kale, and also southern collards. So you'll see that I'm planting multiple rows of seeds of each of those as well. Those are the bulk ingredients of my salads every single night. overnight. And once I have all of these seeds in their starters, I will give them a little bit of water and I'll cover them for about 2 weeks, and then I will replant them in my beds. It'll be really fun to do a follow-up video of this one, and then in a couple months from now, you'll be able to see me harvesting all of these things then. And just like that, we have planted our seeds for winter. I'm gonna go ahead and cover these and water them, and then we'll do an update in a couple of months, maybe even in a few weeks. So now that we have planted the garden for the upcoming months, I want to do a little orchard tour, and I want to share with you some things that are working really well, and also some things that are not working really well that I'm going to be learning from and replanting for the next couple of months, years, and more to come. So we're going to dive into citrus in just a second, but I have to say that one of my biggest fails in the last 6 months have been my avocados. Now, some of you might already know that I have more than 14 different varieties of avocados, and I have some trees that are thriving. They're only 4 or 5 years old, and they're the ones behind me. They are so big. And this year I had my biggest avocado harvest, and some avocados that I were picking were 2, 3, 4 pound avocados bigger than my head. Now that being said, I did not master all of the varieties, and I picked the wrong placement for some of these other baby trees that I planted. Some of my favorite varieties did not make it, and I'm sitting in front of a Malama avocado. I planted 6 of these in a row right here, and all of them died. Now, oftentimes when you plant a fruit tree, you think, oh, I planted a tree, it's gonna grow and that's it. Not necessarily. You have to study where a tree might thrive. You have to test the light, the soil, the water, the rain, and more. And even though I had tested where these avocados were gonna go, it was the wrong home for them, and all of them died. They were planted in a place where they got not enough sun and too much water. I think what ended up happening was root rot for all of the trees, despite the fact that they were planted into the ground. So my biggest fail of 2025 was where I placed some of my baby starter avocados. And this upcoming year, I have propagated and gotten more seeds ready to grow, and I'm gonna be planting another 10 to 13 avocado trees and different varieties, more Malamas as well, and I'm gonna move them from this area to back there. So this is more than just a seasonal update. This is gonna be an update that will happen in a year or so, but I have learned from this lesson, and mark my words, I'm gonna have more avocado knowledge and harvests moving forward. This is another avocado tree that didn't make it. It is so small that you can't even see it anymore. I feel so bad for this tree. I'm sorry you didn't make it, buddy. One of my biggest wins of the last couple of years has been my citrus tree placement. And I studied my citrus varieties really, really well, and I figured out that they love sun and they love being placed on an angle. So I made use of this hill on the property, and I planted pretty much all of my citrus trees along this hill. I have about 85, almost 90 citrus trees and 13 or so different varieties, and I planted them on a slant so that they get the runoff water and they also get direct sunlight all the time. And some of these trees are only 2 years old, and look at them. This is a very baby tree. You can see that it doesn't look that big, but some of the fruits that are coming off of this tree right now are huge. You would think that they're coming from a very mature tree. I also want to give a lot of credit to the nitrogen building perennial peanut grass that I'm sitting on right now. That nitrogen builder cover crop has done a tremendous amount for these trees and has really ensured that all of them thrive. So because those other citrus trees have done so well, I've actually decided to plant 2 new small rows of citrus as well. So 2 new extra rows of different varieties that I didn't have. And as you can see, this tree is maybe a year, maybe a maximum 2-year starter, and we already have baby fruits on it. So I know that they're very happy in this spot, and that's pretty exciting for me. We're losing daylight, so I have to wrap this up, but there is one more thing that I have to share with you, and it is that I have had an incredible soursop harvest already this year. I picked 7 ripe soft soursop off of my trees on January the 1st. It was a wonderful gift for the new year. I have actually gone ahead and I've filmed it for a separate video that will be coming next, just because there's so much I want to talk about with those trees. But in the meantime, I'll share some footage with you that you can see some of these beautiful soursops that I've been harvesting. And I've learned a little bit from those too. Half of them I planted in a great place, and the other half I probably might not see as much of a harvest from. But the ones that I got right are very happy, and I'm having a beautiful harvest with those too. Thank you all so much for joining me in this video. I hope that you have loved it. I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that you're inspired to start growing your own food, and I hope that you're inspired to start planting right now so that you can have a harvest for the upcoming seasons. If you're interested in stocking up on seeds from True Leaf Market, please check out the link in the description below. You will love their organic, non-GMO, and heirloom seeds, and you will not regret having seeds in your home that you can plant and enjoy. And also keep in mind, even if you don't have a garden, you can stock up on their sprouts and microgreen seeds, and you can grow those on your countertop. So please use that link that is in the description below and enjoy. If you're looking for more raw vegan recipes, please download my Fully Raw Recipe app. It has more than 500 raw vegan recipes waiting for you to try. Everything from juices, smoothies, salads, dressings, desserts, dips, snacks, epic meals, and more. My app is the go-to place for raw vegan recipes online, and my app is available on iTunes and Google Play. Those download links are below for you in the description. Please check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, my friends, I'm gonna go and enjoy the rest of this beautiful evening, and I hope that you get to go and do the same. Wishing you all much peace and wellness, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Aloha.